All right, guys. Here's what we did today as warm-ups. I'm going to go to the second page for some help on these. Now, like what we talked about in class, anytime I see fractions, especially when they share the same denominator, one trick I like to do is just multiply everything and make something a certain times bigger to get rid of the fractions. So one thing I like to do is take this whole side and multiply it by 2, and take this whole side and multiply it by 2. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm seeing fractions where I'm dividing by 2. So multiplying by 2 will get rid of that divided by 2. Get rid of the fractions and leave me with a problem that's way easier to do. So if I multiply this side by 2, 3x becomes 6x, and 1/2, I get rid of the divided by 2, just becomes 1. And the other side becomes 2 times 2x is 4x, and the 2 times this 3/2 cancels out the 2, and I got 3. And from there, it's really easy to do. From there, I've got a 6x team, I've got a 4x team, I've got a 1, and I've got a 3. So when I end up doing this problem, I'm going to subtract 4x from this side and put it over here with its team to make this my left team. And I'm going to subtract the 1 from over here to make it on the other side. And 6x minus 4x is 2x. The plus 1 and the minus 1 cancel out, equals the x's cancel out, and I get 3 minus 1 is 2. 2x equals 2, divided by 2, x equals 1. So the big difference between these and the last one was at the very beginning, getting rid of fractions. Okay, I'll go to the next one. I see fourths. I see this fraction right here that says fourths. Everything would be a lot easier if I just made this whole fraction, if I made the whole problem 4 times bigger. So I'm going to take the left side of the equation, the left half, and make it 4 times bigger. I'm going to make the right half 4 times bigger, just to get rid of fractions. And 4 times 3/4 is just 3. 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times 3 is 12. And 4 times 5x is 20x. All right, so now I'm going to make my teams just like normal. I've got an x team, an x team, a number team, and a number team. Okay, so when I make my equation, I'm going to go ahead and make, I'll make the right side the x's this time. So I'm going to take the 12x away from here, and that gets rid of it. I'm going to subtract it on this side as well also. So now the x's are on the right side, so that means this 12 has to go to the other side. I'm going to subtract 12 there. I'm going to subtract 12 there. It gets rid of it there. And now I get 8 x's over here, 20 minus 12, and I get 3 minus 12 is negative 9. Did I do that right? Everything looks right. I'm going to divide by 8. Divide by 8, and x equals negative 9/8. Is that right? Let's see. Yep, it sure is. It actually is there, negative 9/8. So it's really easy to work in fractions at the end just by leaving it that. Okay, so one technique is anytime you see fractions at the end, just go ahead or at the beginning, get rid of them. One that might be tough is like this one, h. What do I pick? Normally I would pick, just 4s, but if I see different denominators, what I'm going to pick is a number that's big enough to get rid of all of them. And 4 gets rid of 4s, obviously, but 4 also gets rid of 2s. So I'm going to choose to multiply by 4. I'm going to choose to multiply by 4 because obviously it's going to easily get rid of the fourths. But it doubles this one. So 1/2, 4 times 1/2 is just 2. It gets rid of this, but it's like it gets rid of it twice. So this thing becomes twice as big. So 1 turns into 2x. It's like it doubled it. It got rid of the bottom and it doubled the top because it was twice enough that you needed to cancel it out. So the 4 cancels out the 1/4 and just makes it 1. On the other side, the 4 cancels out the fourths and makes it negative 3x. You're still left with the top. You're still left with all of that. And then plus 16. So from there, you should be able to solve. So that one was a tough one because I was going to use 4s to get rid of the fourths and the halves. So it's just a little trick that you'll get used to doing that makes your problems easier. Over here, there's a bunch of ways you can do this. The first thing I can do is, all right, let's do it this way. There's a bunch of ways we can do it. Let's go ahead and do the distribution. You don't need to, well, 6x minus 3 times negative 3/4 is negative 9/4. All it does is make it, okay, equals 3x plus 6. One thing I might do now is I see that fourths. I might make everything 4 times bigger. Maybe you just want to do normal, treat it as a number. Me personally, I like working without fractions, so I'm just going to make everything on both sides 4 times bigger. I'm going to make this whole side 4 times bigger, and I make that whole side 4 times bigger. So I'm going to make 24x minus 9, because the 4 gets rid of that 4, equals 12x plus 24. And now I can just use my numbers. And it's just easier to work without fractions. So if you see a fraction, yeah, just multiply, get rid of it. Let's see. All right, this one, yeah, they're doing the same thing. I could teach you a different technique where you just multiply by 2 at the beginning to get rid of this at the very beginning, but let's go ahead and just do this. 1/2 times 2/3 is 2/6 x. You just top times top, bottom times bottom. And 1/2 of 3/4 is minus 3/8 equals x minus 1. This one's a little tough. I would probably, could you multiply by 24? You could. Because 24 gets rid of 6ths 4 times, so it's going to make this 4 times bigger and make that 8x. 24 is going to get rid of 8 3 times, so it makes negative 3 3 times bigger and makes this minus 9 equals 24x minus 24. Okay, this problem is a little bit harder. That's kind of a hard thing to see. I picked 24 because 6 and 8 both go into 24. Hopefully you guys can see that. This problem is harder than anything. That problem is probably harder than anything you'll do this year. There's also a technique where instead of multiplying by 1/2 at the beginning, I could have just multiplied by this side by 2 and it would have gotten rid of the 1/2, so I wouldn't even have to put it in, but I would have multiplied this side by 2. So it would have made it a little bit different. There were different ways to attack it, but as long as you follow the rules, you can get there. Don't worry. If this problem gives you problems, you're not going to see too many like that this year. So that one's significantly harder. Let's see. This problem up here, multiply both sides by 5 to get rid of the fifths, and you'll get negative 2. You'll get negative 10x, you'll get negative 15x, and you'll get plus 10. Let's see. This one, normal problem, very normal problem, just like the one on the other side, but they're just ugly numbers. That's it. This one over here, just make sure you multiply. Should be pretty easy. Then it's ugly numbers, and that's fine. If we go back to the first page, there is one like it, I think, with fractions over here. All right, so over here, like over on this side, I'm gonna multiply, even before I start, I'm gonna multiply both sides by 2. Just because I wanna get rid of those halves. So I'm gonna multiply everything over here by 2, everything over there by 2, and this 2 will get rid of that 2, and I get negative 5x. I still have the negative, I still have the 5, and I still have the x. Plus 4 equals, this 2 gets rid of that 2 when you multiply, negative 9x minus 28. And now it should be a fairly easy problem. So, do I care that you can get rid of fractions right now? No, that's a pretty advanced technique. I'm just caring that once you get to this spot, you can make teams. You see, like, there's an x team, there's an x team. There's a number team, and you can decide, hey, you know what? I'm gonna add 9x to this side, so it moves it over here and gets rid of it from the right side. I'm gonna subtract 4 from this side, subtract 4 from that side, because it basically crosses it out over there. and I get 4x equals negative 32. I divide by 4, x equals negative 8. So that's just a technique for getting rid of fractions, but it's not the most important thing in the world. What is important is that you can make teams and send things across to either side. Okay, I'll help you with this last one. Let's see. This would be 3 halves x plus 3, because this 2 and that 2 will cancel each other out. So that would be 3 halves times 2 over 1, which would be 6 over 2, which would be 3, equals 4x plus 5 plus 3 halves x. Okay, I could make everything 2 times bigger. There is a shortcut where if I see 3 halves x on the right and 3 halves x on the left, they're going to cancel each other out. But let's just follow the technique and make everything 2 times bigger. 2 times bigger, 2 times bigger. We're going to get the 2 cancels out the 2. 3x plus 6 equals 8x plus 10 plus 3x, because the 2 will get rid of the 2. That's why we chose 2 in the first place. So we have an x term, an x term, and an x term. We have a number term and a number term. I'm going to go ahead and, let's rewrite it one more time. 3x plus 6 equals, I'm going to combine the 8 and 3, 11x plus 10. So I got the number term, or the letter term, the number term, and the number term. I'll go ahead and make the right side my number terms. So I'm going to subtract 3x over here, subtract 3x over there to get rid of it from this side, subtract 10 from this side, subtract 10 from that side to get rid of it over here. So we made our teams. 8x equals negative 4, divide by 8, x equals negative 1/2, and that should be down there. Please tell me I got it right. Yeah, there we go, negative 1/2. So fractions is pretty tough. If you're to the point where you can make teams and get them to either side, good job. Yeah, long video as it was. I tried to go as fast as I could, maybe too fast. Okay, bye guys.